Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a WIP and chat. If you don't know what that means, that just means WIP, work in progress, and chat. So there you go. But I am working on one of these. These are those small overseas kits that come from Diamond Art Club. What is the name of this one? Of course, it's all the way up top. So I don't even know. Ooh, wow. Okay, it is Pearl. So this is a Curtis Rajkovic, and I absolutely adore all of his work. I strive to collect every painting, whether I get to them this year or not. That's another question. But I was trying these little mini kits. I call them mini. They're pretty small. If you've done a Curtis Rajkovic painting from Dreamer Designs, then you know that they are big. Right? It's like 60 by 80 centimeters or something like that. I don't know. It's a monster. No, it's got to be bigger than that because this is 40 by 50 and this is dinky. So whatever it is, these are smaller, snack size. I had just finished a rather large kit that I thought would be quick and easy, and it wasn't, and I needed something easy, so I went with this one, kitted it up, and I've been having fun. At first when I had started it, I was like, oh, the rendering just doesn't look very good. But then the more I finished, or once I completely finished her face, then I realized, okay, it's fine. So here's the thing with smaller kits that you need to keep in mind. The smaller the space, the more debatable on the rendering. You know, sometimes it looks fine, sometimes it definitely looks, well, that it was shrunk. So you kind of have to keep that in mind with the smaller kits, but we all have to work on smaller kits eventually, right? I just ordered a bunch of those little kits that are kind of like the ones from Art Gem, but Diamond Art Club, because they sent me a 15% off coupon, and clearly I have no self-control anymore. We're going to talk about that another day. I have bought so many diamond painting kits the last few months. I don't know why. Maybe it's retail therapy. I mean, and they're kits I want to do, though. I'm not like buying them just because I'm like, you know, it'd be fun. I just want a bunch to have a bunch. They're like kits I want to do. But, I mean, a diamond painting kit takes me... This one here, gosh, when did I kit it? I can't remember now. I had kitted it while I was working on the big one, but then I was not actually working on it. So it's hard to say, but I think I've only spent 4 days on it so far, and I've gotten quite a bit done. So it's kind of a quick and easy one, but that big one took me a while. And the average kit usually does take me a little while. You know, I'm spreading my time between watercolor, adult coloring, though I will say I probably spend more time diamond painting to relax than anything else. Mainly because my adult coloring, anything I color, I'm like, oh, I should probably put that on my, did not mean to put that one there, on my silent coloring channel or something like that. So like half the time I'm like, no, I shouldn't color this. So... is what it is. But I did post a haul video, I think yesterday. I had filmed it and then I went to go make a ton of wax melts. So it has been an interesting week. Sales at my Etsy store are really weird this week. They're like all over the place. Let's see, like Monday was like dead, and then tax day, like maybe everyone got their refund. I don't know. I just thought it was funny because on tax day I had a ton of sales, and I did run a sale for tax day, but I was just like, wow, everyone's going for that refund money, huh? I'm not complaining, but yeah, it's been busy. But the thing is it's getting to the point where I'm actually having to hire help. I've got my kiddos who are supposed to help because we call it the family business, because it is. I mean, it's paying for all their luxuries in life. Not that teenagers seem to notice that little tidbit. teenagers, though, are a different breed, right? Anyone who has a teenager probably knows what I mean. When you remind them that, you know, they're driving a car that you in fact own, and that's a privilege, like a trash drill, they look at you like you're the most evil person for reminding them of that. But it's like, okay, well, you could go buy a car then. I mean, we don't have to have this argument. Just go buy a car. Oh, you can't? But both my kiddos work for my store. And even well, she's 9 now, but my 9-year-old now helps in the store too. She loves making putty, which is funny. So like she works on the weekends, and she always has to help when one of the older kids are working, just because sometimes she needs help with the ratios, but she loves like sitting there kneading it and mixing in the colors. It's adorable. And she does it for free. All for the price of like me buying her Takis or getting her a fizz drink every now and then. So it's been pretty fun. But yeah, the sales have been weird. I've been releasing a lot of different things though. Like I released the lavender collection. I don't know if you've seen that. I post everything on my Pure Bliss Wax Instagram. So, and then always check out the stories. I am going to start putting special coupon codes that'll be in the stories for that story only. So it's like a flash coupon. One of them was sea salt and lavender. This smells amazing. Oh my gosh, it is so good. I'll show you the colors of it. I've already mangled it. So my poor heart, look. Oh, it's no longer a heart shape. We are changing up shapes though. We'll still do hearts, but we're also doing flowers and bows, and then like some of the scents for May. I'm sorry if you hear a dog barking. I am dog sitting a dog that barks. My huskies only talk when they want to talk. This dog actually barks and it drives me nuts. So I'm gonna have to go tell him no. But yeah, for May, since we're doing like an ocean theme, it's gonna be all ocean, mermaid. It'll be seashells and stuff. This was a flower, but it got mangled too. So we're doing a bunch of different shapes. If you ever order putty from me though, just know that the shape will only stay the same if it's for that limited scent, and like that's how we market it. Like the seashell thing will be for those limited ones. And then the color schemes will always change because that's just based on the mica powder we happen to have in stock, or, you know, honestly, whoever's making it that day, their feelings. If they're feeling blue, let them be blue. I'm not going to standardize it. Plus, it actually kind of helps me differentiate between batches if there's ever a problem. So, yeah, we never do the same shape or colors, but the limited edition ones for May will have the same shape, but the colors might vary. We make them in bigger batches than our normal inventory though, because once they sell out, they're gone. Is that the last one for this? Oh, no, there's some right there. So yeah, that one fell off. We make those in bigger batches, so they tend to be more consistent with the colors at least. But I am trying to get all of May's stuff done. I just designed the cover minder, which is super cute. I was going to do a mermaid, but then I realized I did that last year for mermaid. So I did this fish. It's a really cute little kawaii fish. Where is this set of drills? So yeah, we have a fishy, but I did still include a mermaid that people can buy separate. It's just not going to be part of the mystery box. Okay, I literally just saw this one. So I hate kitting not in trays. So I've got these little storage containers, right? And I absolutely loathe pouring them into a tray and then pouring them back out. Pretty much normally I always kit in my actual trays, so everything is ready to go. This is from the last painting I was working on. And since I kitted this at the same time, I ended up using all of my cat ear trays. So these are trays and storage containers So you just pop them open and ta-da! And then you can like actually use them as trays. Oh, it's so nice. So I did them that way, but I only had so many smalls left, so the excess had to go in these guys here. But I find it 10 times faster for me. I've watched some videos where people have, you know, like compared the two, and they, you know, they found it slower or the same. I can definitely say for myself it is way faster, but we are all very different in how we diamond paint. So that's kind of a thing to keep in mind. The only thing I don't like about these is that they're see-through, and like when it's sitting on top of your painting, you're like, So I always put my paper under it so I can see it better. That's just one thing I don't like about these. I'll leave a link though. I really do enjoy using them. I bought them from their site, but now you can get them on Amazon, thank goodness. So I might buy some more. And now they have them in colors. I wonder if they did that because people complained about them being clear. Because the clear, like I said, when you put it on top of your painting, sometimes you're like squinting to try and find it. Or at least I'm squinting to try and find it. So, oops, that one got a little loose there. Okay, barking dog has stopped, though he is in the house now and he may whine. It is so weird having a dog that's not a husky in the house, because, like I said, huskies don't bark, they'll talk, for one. So, like, if my dogs are making noise, it's because they're telling you something. They don't just sit out there and bark. It's not because, well, the best way to put it is they just don't care enough to bark. They definitely won't bark at an intruder, because again, do not care enough. They just can't give a crap. It's like too much of their day. They're divas. They don't want to waste their time barking. They're like, no, I'm good. Break in, do whatever you want. Just don't bother me. So yeah, it's always weird having a dog that isn't a husky, because then I'm like, oh right, barking. Oh, there's a star. My eyes are killing me today. So I've been working on my next book. I'm actually working on two simultaneously, which I don't normally do because, well, as you could imagine, you have two different storylines going. Nope, go lay down. You have two different storylines going, and you can accidentally, you know, merge them for one. All right, there. It's an AB, that's why I couldn't find it. So you can do that by accident, and then, you know, sometimes you're just not in the flow, but it's working so far because I couldn't decide between the two. I had originally started working on my fantasy romance book, and I was like, yeah, I really want to get this one going. But the problem is I'm just not at the right season of life, as it's usually referred to work on that. So fantasy is very hard to write because you're world building, for one. You're like building from scratch, but you'll have magic systems on top of that and characters and, you know, whatever else you add in there. So you're building everything from scratch, and it just takes a lot more concentration and time. And often, like I wake up early in the morning to write before everyone else is awake. And so I'll start to, like, you know, it takes about 30 minutes more, depending on my mood, to get into the groove of writing. And so sometimes, like, I'll just start getting into it, and then the kids are, like, awake, and I have to get them ready or wake them up, because no one in my house can wake up to an alarm clock except myself. It would be so nice. Why is this? It would be so nice if I wasn't the human alarm clock for everyone here. That's all I ask. But, yeah, so I've been working, or I went back to my other one, book 4 of my series. It's the last book in this series, and then I'll be done with that one. And so I'm putting my fantasy one aside right now. I was kind of bummed because I have a really fun idea. It's just with the kids and the interruptions, and I just can't get into it. So I'm working on book 4 for that series, plus started a new series book 1 for that one. And yeah, I basically work on one in the evening, one in the morning, and I've been having more people work for the Etsy so that I free up more time for writing and stuff, and social media for writing, because the marketing for writing is just as laborious and time consuming as writing the book itself. I wish I was kidding about that. I spend a lot of time just doing all this social media. And if you follow me on social media, my author profile, not me, you probably see how much I do on social media. But it's a lot. I'm sitting there filming TikTok videos and all this stuff. And yeah, it just gets pretty draining. So I've been having the kids help more in the store. I'm even like training one of them to start taking over wax melts, especially because yesterday I was doing a batch of wax melts and I went to open a mica bottle because we color the wax melts with mica. And I went to open the mica bottle and it went poof right in my face. I normally wear safety goggles and a face mask, but of course the one time I don't. It goes poof in my face, and it's bad enough because you don't want to inhale mica. It is in fact ground things. But it went right in my eye, and I woke up this morning and my eye was infected. And it's like really painful. At first I was like, oh my gosh, did I get pink eye? But it's not itchy at all. It's just incredibly painful and swollen. And it's because I, got that stuff in my eye. I got it out of my eye, but it still doesn't stop it from getting infected. And I probably scratched the cornea, getting the particles out. Sorry, Amazon delivered a package and now the dogs are, not dogs, the one I'm dog sitting that actually cares about doorbells is going crazy. So yeah, now my eye is all swollen, and so like I wanted to sit there and write today and my eye just hurt, and then I was filming for my watercolor YouTube channel a comparison of 25, no, Leo, go lay down. 25 different brands that had yellow ochre. I think that's my biggest comparison video yet. Oh boy, was that thing long. It's only 20 minutes recorded, but it took me 3 hours to sit there and do. Whew. But it is done. Now I gotta move on to another color. It's kind of fun though, and I do have an Etsy store for that. Basically, people can buy dot cards. So if you're into watercolor, definitely check it out. If I remember, I'll link it below. But yes, I have multiple Etsy stores and multiple YouTube channels and all that. Like my other Etsy store is like digital printables, but I've been incredibly lazy about uploading there. I tend to just upload them to my Ko-fi and call it a day. So I haven't been like the best entrepreneur on that one, but I'm working more on my books, and that's where I want to really focus my time. And ideally, my dream is like once I can be a full-time writer, and I'm saying once because gosh darn it, I am going to be a full-time writer. That's the mindset you have to have when you're going towards something. You can't just say, well, maybe if. You got to say no, when. And then work for it. Don't just say it and then be like, it'll show up on its own. It doesn't. I'm working my butt off to make that win happen, but I am going to be a full-time writer one day. I'll still have YouTube, don't worry. Everyone needs their escape. Even writers who are living in fantasy worlds or their own little fantasy land. But once I am that full-time writer, I will work on my fantasy book because I've mapped it out to the extent I can, because I am a pantser. So I've got when I say mapped it out, it's a loose idea, and guarantee when I start writing it more, that idea will just flow into whatever it flows into. Even my romance books do the same thing. I'll have an idea, like a general idea. And then where I go from there, really, as I'm typing, whatever just comes out of my head. Rico's book, which is the most recent one that just published, and by the way, is the funniest one. I wrote it in all very dry, dark, sarcastic humor, and apparently that is my niche, which is good because book 4 requires that type of humor, so this was a good trial run. And book 4 will actually be even more sarcastic and dry, and dark humor, but I seem to be rather into that. Like, I come up with things easier, so I found that kind of interesting. I guess it is sort of my personality, though, if I think about it. I'm not, like, dark, but dry and sarcastic is definitely more my style. So I think that's why it comes so easily, because if I were to be funny, that would be kind of more the range I go. But yeah, that one was fun, and that's the one that came out last week. It's actually doing really well on the sales. I almost made it in the top 100 category. Almost. I was at like 108, and then this morning I noticed it dropped to like 130, and I was like, oh no, it's starting to drop. Oh, now my husky is talking. It's because the dog we're watching is pacing, and it's annoying her. She's like, just lay down, be lazy. It's raining here, and they're mad because they can't go out and play in the mud. But anyone who has a husky knows what it's like to wash husky fur. You don't wash it. You freaking scour that stuff. Dual coats are not fun to wash. That requires a professional, and I don't have the time to go find one. But, yeah, so I was kind of bummed because I was like, oh, I just want to say that I made it in the top 100. But if you haven't read it, go get it. It is free on Kindle Unlimited, by the way. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, you don't even have to pay for it, which is great. I love Kindle Unlimited. I love that more books are now on it. So like when I first got Kindle Unlimited, like not as many authors, or like they would have their first book in the series on there and the rest you'd have to pay for. Well, now even like the big name authors, did I say artists? I might have. Now the big name authors are all doing free on Kindle Unlimited. Like they're finally embracing it. So I'm glad. I mean, it makes more competition, sort of, but not really, because you were already competing in the first place. I mean, the romance genre is so full. I mean, we're talking mad full. So, hey, go lay down. I just don't want them to bump the camera because my bar is hanging so far over my table that it'll smack me in the face. Not kidding. So I'm like, go lay down. I don't want to get hit by my own recording arm. But yeah, so we'll see. The paperback you can get to. I finally got it on the other platform. I am going to actually start selling bundles of it on my Etsy with a wax melt. Scout. I'm going to start selling it up there. So I'm like making wax melts. They'll not only be the same color scheme as that book, but like the same scent of the flower on it. So it took a little while to find, but I think I've got them all. Now I just need to perfect the color, but then it'll be a signed copy of the book. So keep an eye out for that. Those should start releasing like any day now. I've just been working on getting the scents gathered. It took me a while to find a peony one because book 2 is peonies, and then tulips. I unfortunately have to kind of mix the tulip one with another, a few other flowers, but you get the gist. And then I've got to come up with a name, and it's basically I'm going to take a line from each book and come up with like a funny name. So like I think with Rico's book, I am going to name the scent Hey Babe. And unless you read the book, you won't get the humor. But if you've read the book, it's that part where he talks about his worst nightmare, because he is I guess you could kind of call him a recluse. He's just antisocial. It's a grumpy sunshine. He is the perfect grumpy for a grumpy sunshine. But he's talking about, because his fiance keeps text messaging him, and he's like, what will it be like, you know, when we're married and she doesn't have wedding plans to text me about? And he kind of goes through like a list of hypothetical things she could text him, like, you know, found a dog at the shelter, we should get this and be good people. And then like at the end of the list he goes, or my biggest fear of all, hey babe. And it's just funny. Like his biggest fear is his wife texting him, hey babe. Like, just, yeah. So I think that's what it's going to be named. I find it funny, other people might not, but that line alone, when I wrote it, I was chuckling out loud for like a full 2 hours after I wrote it. So it just has to. And then I'll probably start working on like little merch. But yeah, the signed book copy along with the wax melts should release soon. I'm just working on redoing my schedule because now that I'm sending a preview box to Diamonds and Washi for the limited edition box, I was trying to get ahead of those. So like May's box is now done and I'm working on June's box, but I had to kind of get that working and then get the lavender collection out. Sorry if you can hear the dogs, they are being obnoxious. But yeah, now I can work on that because that was my next project, was to get the little bundles out. And I think it'll be really fun. And I may include a tumbler and kind of, or a mug or something. I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you want a tumbler or a mug, or just the book and the wax melt to go with it? You can, you know, make your house smell pretty while you're reading the book. And then it'll be a signed one with my pen name. But yeah, it is my pen name. I'm not using my real name for any of my books. I threw a few people off because they're like, well, this isn't your book, it's this person. I'm like, that's my pen name. So, and I guess I kind of forgot that most people don't realize or know, not everyone knows about pen names. I've been in the writing world, not just books, but I was a freelance writer for a long time. Before AI went right in and took that from me. But I used a pen name even as a freelance writer for clients, so I guess I've just always known the term. But yeah, I do write my books under a pen name for a lot of reasons, but the biggest one being, wasn't because I didn't dislike my name. My name's fine and dandy, but my legal name is tied to a lot of businesses. So if one were to Google search it, sometimes it does actually show up with my information. So that was why I was like, nope, my pen name cannot use my legal name. It'll make it, not that I'm like going to be some famous author and people are hunting me down, but what if I write my one book and it's like an ACOTAR and it explodes or something, okay? You never know. Girl can dream. So, planning ahead is all. Like I said, I just want to be able to write full time. Do you have to be like majorly famous to write full time? No, you don't actually. There's quite a few writers out there that work full time and they're not very well known. And then, like I said, in the romance genre, it's funny because there's quite a few like authors that I read and people will be like, oh, I've never even heard of them. Because there's just so many to choose from, but those writers who people have never even heard of are actually still full-time writers and making a killing. They're not famous. There's no movie being made about their books, but, well, there might be thousands of books out there, but there are also twice as many readers. So that's the nice thing. There's a book for everyone. Riko's book has been kind of interesting with some of the reviews, though. I try not to read the reviews because, you know, you're never going to please everyone. And if anyone knows that, it's a YouTuber / Etsy store owner. You, like, have a total grasp on that reality. But I have been a little irked at some of them because one of them was like, this isn't realistic. And I had to laugh at that because, well, one, the synopsis does tell you exactly what it's about. So if that's not, I mean, I don't know how to make it more realistic. but two, we all read books to not hang out in reality. That's kind of the point of fiction. So I just found it to be a rather... I was sitting there and I kept rereading it like, maybe I misread this. And I read it again and I'm like, no, this makes no sense. Because, yeah, if you're going to escape, or if you're going to read a book, you do so to escape reality. And if you see that it is a grumpy sunshine, arranged marriage, former mafia princess trope, I'm not sure how I can make that more realistic. It is what it is. So that one I was just like, I'm at a loss. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I try not to read the reviews, but, you know, just as a fellow creative out there, if you ever leave reviews for people, one, please don't be that person that refuses to give 5 stars. There's so many people that just like have a policy. They'll never give a perfect score. Keep in mind that that policy actually hurts that author, because if they, you know, drop below 4 stars, Amazon doesn't rank them as high, all because just the idea of giving a perfect score can't be done. Now, I get it, everyone has their preferences, but keep in mind what that does to the person. And then also ask yourself, if you wrote a book, would you want to have a bunch of people who are reviewing it refuse to give you a 5 stars because they just refuse to give anyone perfect scores? Because I have quite a few reviews where they're like, oh my gosh, this book was so great, I can't wait for the next one, or I'm starting on the next one immediately, I read it in one sitting, literally no bad things at all, and then they leave 4 stars. I'm like, okay, if you legitimately leave 4 stars because there's a reason for it, like, you need to put it in your review. It helps authors. Like, for me, I'd sit there and be like, oh, okay, they didn't like this. You know, sometimes it's just an opinion, other times it's constructive criticism, and I keep it in mind for the next one. But other times I sit there, like, just looking at it going, okay, if it was perfect and you loved it and you recommended it to all your friends and family, why does it have 4 stars? You know, it's kind of like Google reviews. That's why I don't pay attention to them. I make a decision for myself. There's actually quite a few books out there that have bad reviews, and I've read them myself, and I'm so glad I did. Oh, like Zodiac Academy. If I had more time, I would get into that one, but we are already 30 minutes in, and I don't want to get on the tangent, so I'm going to make a mental note that in my next WIP and Chat, we're going to talk about Zodiac Academy, because I have a lot to say about that freaking book series. It's good. It's good and bad, but good, if that makes sense. It is good. It's just like I drove myself insane with it. But before I go, I will show you. Can I zoom out? There we go. I'm gonna like lift it up just a bit, but now you can see the rendering a little better. It's actually pretty good considering how small this is. Like I said, I was like right here halfway through her face, and I was sitting there thinking, gosh, this is not gonna come out good. And then once I finished her whole face, especially with all these crystal diamonds and stuff, I was like, oh, this is really cute. It's gonna be cute, and I'm almost done. Like, once I finish this row, I just have like one more row, and it'll be done. And then I think I'm gonna kit up a big one, but I also want to kit up a small one, because I think I want to start doing that where I mix and match. I have a small one of some kind, like this size. I'm curious how many of you guys do that, like you mix and match, or do you just like straight up go with the big, you know, whatever one you're working on? Because that's how I've been. Whatever I'm working on, that's the only one I'm working on. But I almost need a break. Like the last one nearly like broke me. I had like 1 square left and I didn't even have the energy to do it. So I'm like thinking, okay, I need to like change it up so I can feel accomplished. And so I'm curious how many people do that, or how many WIPs you'll have at once. Do you have like more than 2? because I was getting those small kits, so I'm like thinking of I'll have like some of those, but then like one this size, then a big one. Gosh, the one I really want to start is like 81 colors. It's huge. I know it's going to take me forever, but then I'm like, I need something in between, so I feel like I've been accomplished in my life. So just curious what you guys do for that. But I am going to let you go for now. So until next time, take care and have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will catch you next week. Bye now.